And we are live.
Yes, we are.
Hello, hello, hello. How are you all today? This is another amazing porch talk, and we are excited to gather on the porch. We, of course, have the inimitable Dorothy Mae Ross. We have the fabulous Camille, and a very, very special guest today, Veronica Montinola. And we can't wait to talk with our friend Veronica. She has so much wisdom to share. But before we get there, Dorothy is looking up some important information. We just want to reach out to you and say, how are you guys? What's on your mind? Let us know in the chat. We really want to hear from you. You're really important to us. Every Friday, we look forward to being together and dialoguing with you. And we want to hear from you, right, Camille? So
Yes, we do. Yes, we
let's
do.
let's start with, we always talk on the gather on the porch, and we want to hear from you. What is a really important memory that you guys have had when you were young on the porch that is with you today? So please fill that out, whether you're listening live or listening later. That is going to matter to us. So happy April. Hope you all have had a wonderful spring so far. And Dorothy, we are excited to welcome Veronica and hear from you as well.
Well, hey, everybody. Thank you. I want to say I am definitely glad that everybody is here today. I'm glad you took out from your busy schedule because we know how important time is, and we know a lot of you work and you have your own businesses. But just because you took the time out to come and be with us for a little while and listen to what the fabulous Camille has to say, and then our Got Your Back solutionist, Stacy Paley, and we've got Veronica from Life's Simple Pleasures. And Veronica has a lot to share with us. Now, here's the thing, and I have to apologize because I was not feeling well this week. So one of the things that I didn't do is pull up Veronica's bio, but I'm going to read it before she does leave today. So, but before we do that, I've got a few things that I want to share with you. So I want to first share with you that we have our friends and family reunion coming up, and that is May the 28th from 12 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. Now, here's the good part. We got a special sale going on. If you get May and you get July's tickets, they both will cost you $37. So you get to attend two events for $37. But if you decide that that's not what you want to do, that's okay too, because they do come separately. So May is $27 by itself, and July is $27 by itself. And I'm hoping you'll take the package, the sale price, and meet us here. We would love to have you. I enjoy having fun and I enjoy interacting with people. So, on that note, we're going to let Veronica get started and kind of share with you what's going on with her and what she's up to and what she may even have coming up for the end of the year. Now, one thing I do know about Veronica, Veronica has a program that is awesome. So anybody that wants to know about energies and things like that and how to bring it all together into one place and make it work in your favor, you'll want to connect with Veronica. So we're going to give Veronica a little time while I pull up this bio.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, ladies. This is a beautiful and wonderful platform that you've been building. And I admire how you come together in friendship, in support, and in community. So thank you for having me. So
Thank
energy is something that, I was just thinking about, things that are happening going forward into the future. We're shifting, humanity is shifting in a global way. And a lot of times, the unseen things are the things that are becoming important, right? We've been used to being operating in a logic world, A, B, C, D, E in a box, basically. And this kind of situation is making us reach for different things, for something different. So, energy is one of them because we are subject to it, whether we realize it or not. And I recognized since I was young that there was more to our logic world than what we saw. And one of them is energy. It goes the same with food, for example. I had a presenter today, Pat, in my group, which you guys know, Patricia Gallo, and we talked about microbiomes. Microbiomes, you don't see them, but they affect so much, your gut health, the vibratory element of the food. And it's the same thing with energy. Energy is in your home also. Your home is a container of energy, and it's just knowing how to use your home that helps you. Everything is also reflected in our face, and everything is related. The universe is a whole package, and it's also about what the timing of the energy is. How does it relate to you? Because you were born in certain days and certain times, and how does that relate to you and how you could take advantage of it. And with Dorothy's permission, I'd like to share a little bit of what happened to her earlier this week. Is that okay, Dorothy?
That's fine. That's fine.
So, Dorothy had a shot, her second shot, on April 7th. And because I'm familiar with Dorothy's shot, for example, that was not a good day for Dorothy to do that. She didn't realize it. But basically, when you do things that are against you, that work against you, um, you don't get the positive results, and that's how also the chi or the energy affects you. So one of the ways is knowing how to manage time. The other way is how to manage your environment, and the third aspect is what actions you can make with what you have. So that's what the world of energy is. It's a whole set. It's a whole cosmos, basically, based on the stars and the planets, and um, and how we could take advantage of that with our actions. And going forward, it's really about how we can create our life. Because up to this point, it's been about how life has been dictated to us. You know, women are supposed to be this way, men are supposed to act this way. You are supposed to be doing this or that, basically. But what's coming up is really that we are rising up, women are rising up. There's going to be a little bit of a balance, a little bit of difficulty for a little bit, but a little bit of a balance. And also that we are going to create from our gifts and our talents. It's not always going to be, oh, you're going to be a doctor because that pays a lot of money. No, it's what if you go through 10 years of school and you hate it? That'll be 10 years of wasted time, right? So it's going to be more about who are you? What gifts were you born with? And how you could give those to the world, because this is what we were born for. We were born for service. And when we give and we receive, and that light and um, that spirit of us becomes more enriched as we give and receive. So this is what I do for my clients, for friends, for family, and I do that for my members in my programs. I just finished up a relationship program. It's about how to find your significant other and what to look for. So that is also energy. Everything is energy. Good luck is energy. Bad luck is energy. A one night stand is energy. Ooh, somebody's hot. I really like him. But what happens after that? You want to know, right? You want to know, is that a viable relationship or not? So this is how you could see, and you could see from your chart. And the chart contains codes that you were born with. And
Mm,
it's knowing how to use your codes that becomes essential going forward, especially if you don't want to waste time, especially if you want a straighter path to a relationship, to success, to manifesting, or anything like that. It's all a part of a cycle. You know, it's nothing that I make out of my head. It's all a system. So that's why I love about that. Yeah.
So
Awesome.
you oh, go ahead, Stacy.
Oh, thank you, Dorothy. Veronica, you said something very interesting about even being able to look at someone's face and seeing energy. Can you just tell
Mhm.
us a little more about that? I bet folks watching are really interested in that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So let's say you meet someone. Let's say I'm going to pick on Dorothy again. So, so I was looking at Dorothy, and you're going to look at her when she speaks, probably because you can't see her very much right now. Um, so her health was down in the last couple of days because she took this shot and really took her down. So when you look at her, you know, you look at the left side and you could look at the right side. You could see that it's off balance. You could see one side is stronger than another. So sometimes when you see the eyes, you know, the eyes are the window to the soul, and that's how you could see. When you could see balance in a relationship or not. One of the very classic examples is when you look at Jeff Bezos' eyes before he got divorced. One of his eyes was almost bulging, you know.
Mhm.
So that indicates, you know, dominance over the other. Okay. So that's one way you could see. And the face. And the face is what is called physiognomy. It's the study of the shapes, of the textures and the lands. Just like Feng Shui is the study of the textures and the hills and the undulations of the land too. So the face is no different than the land. Okay, so it relates. They're parallel but similar. Yeah, yeah.
Wow. Wow.
And
So,
for
and
the
you
male, yeah. Go ahead.
no,
Yeah.
I was just agreeing with you as far as the eyes being dominant, just keeping my
Hmm.
eyes open. Uh, it's like, oh my gosh, after this bout, they're almost closed. So I'm feeling better, but I know that I'm not at full range yet.
Hmm. Yes, yes. Because the left side is the male and the right side is the female. So your right side is weaker than your left. If you look
Mm,
at you right now, probably in another week, you'll probably be, back to normal. But right now, I could tell right away, that you're down.
yeah.
Yeah, and the same thing with days, we could decide because we've been taught that, the timing is, 30 days, 28 days, 30 days, 31 days. Timing is really a cycle of energy in the Chinese calendar. So that's why I said there's some days that are favorable for you, some days are not favorable for you. And how great is it to know, oh, you know what? I'm not going to meet that new client today because it's not going to end up very well. So there's what they call avoid days. We label some of those days of avoid days. Some of those could be your health days. Some of those could be your wealth days. Some of those could be your fame days. And that's how you could use your time better because time is the one commodity we all have the same. That is the great equalizer. No matter how rich, poor, young, old, beautiful, sexy, ugly, anything, child, anything, what orientation you have, what religious orientation, timing affects everyone exactly the same way because we were born with these codes. So if we can personalize our days to reach better, to do better, to even to avoid the difficult interactions, disappointments. I mean, it's it's life. You it's life reaching farther rather than frustrating experience. So you don't want to go shopping, for example, and have to turn around and do different things. You don't want to meet a client, spend a lot of effort, and them saying, "Oh, you know what? Yeah, I'm not interested. I'm going to go with somebody else." Um, it's things like that that will set you back. And if you do that over and over again, you start thinking your confidence could go down, for example, or you could start doubting yourself. So, how you can use energy for better alignment and for success is one of the things I teach. And it's free. You know, energy is free. Energy is available to everyone, just like, land and dirt and everything else is available. So energy, we just have to know how to direct the energy. That's all.
All right. And that's what you show us how to do. And that's
Hmm.
how to utilize the energy. I know that even with my daily routine, the days that,
Hmm.
uh, like Wednesday is when I really came down with everything. And what I found
Hmm.
out is that Wednesday is actually a day that I usually use to just cool out and relax and do nothing at all.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about that. I said, this energy could actually be connected to the days of my week. I know that Monday is a busy day for me. So I'm just full of
Hmm.
energy because I know I got to do this, I got to do that. And then after Monday, it starts to taper down. It starts to taper down. So then Friday is just it's like my day to rebuild, renew myself for the
Hmm.
weekend. Okay. So I use that energy specifically for that. Okay. So today, I'm usually in glasses. I can't even wear my glasses today. So isn't that something? I don't know. It looked
Yeah.
like it gave me a brighter vision or something. I don't know. My glasses aren't working today for me. But I think that even when we started to connect, Veronica, I had to do some research. And what I find is that a lot of the biblical stuff and a lot of Feng Shui is basically
Hmm.
based on the same thing. So one of the things that I had to learn was, Dorothy, as far as Jesus was concerned, he had a message. He went and they followed. He never forced himself on anyone. So I don't have to force him on anyone. And whatever other people, whatever their worship is, whoever they're worshiping or whoever they're connected to, they don't have to force it on me. We can all believe in the same thing as long as it gets us to the same destination.
Hmm.
So when I started doing research and I started looking up Fawn's Way, I started looking up some things in the Bible, then I said, this will probably work, because
Hmm.
now that I connected with someone else, I found out that there's some things as far as Hawaiian prayers that they connect back to the Bible. And I think all it is that the majority of things have been taken from the Bible and it's utilized for people, so that those that sometimes I think people that they're not ready to accept Christ yet into their life, here's something else that they can connect to that will bring them back to Christ. So, energy, when we talk about energy, we can talk about the number 3 or the number 5 or the number 7 or the number 8 when we talk about biblical stuff, okay? And it's grace, and it's the triune. 3 is the triune, and what stands for hope, and what's life, and which number is for living. And the same thing equates us right back again to Feng Shui.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I know we talked about, in biblical terms, how is the wife seen? How is the husband seen? And Chinese astrology is nothing more than a representation of the five elements in nature. and they also represent the planets and the constellations. So we have the same things usually, in natural ways. Um, it works on a cycle, right? We have the wood, fire, earth, metal, and water, those five elements, and one nurtures the other. They are the same. There's five kinds of relationship. You either nurture, you control, you are the same, it controls you, or you control it. So these are the kinds of relationship. Usually we see, usually the husband wants to have control of their relationship. The mom or the wife is the one that nurtures the children, but the children are really that are in control of the parents, right?
Veronica, I love that. And when, as you're talking, it
Mhm.
sounds like it's really almost a metaphor. One way of thinking about it in terms
Mhm.
of these energies is
Yeah.
just like you said, what does fire do for us? The
Mhm.
inflaming, what does metal do? And as you're saying it in that context, based on what Dorothy and you have just been discussing, it takes it into a system almost. Would you say that this is a scientific system?
I think I'd like to say that this was science before the word science was invented. Because the word science was invented probably, over maybe 200 years ago, back in England, Cambridge. And the new science, the new science is becoming deeper and is looking into ancient knowledge for it to become whole because it's been separated. And now many scientists, many light beings are putting this thing together so it becomes one and whole, and it could help us more. Neuroscience, for example, is one of the examples of that. Yeah. And they're going into ancient practices because a lot of ancient practices, somehow they knew that. And some of them had the fortune of being recorded. For example, the Chinese had it recorded into a system. And that's not 100%, but probably about 80% was recorded. But in the Western world, a lot of the books were burned, a lot of the information was let go. So our evolution becomes then to become familiar with the old stuff again. Yeah, so that's what I'm excited about. Yeah.
I know as you talk and you talk about the five elements, it brings
Mhm.
things to mind as far as the Bible is concerned, how the Bible talks
Mhm.
about fire and how the Bible talks about water. And we know when we talk about water, we talk about Moses and how God
Mhm.
divided the waters so that they would be able to walk through. And um, we talk about metal, we talk about the earth, even the earth, we talk about mountains. And the Bible talks about
Mhm.
how he'll take the mountains and cause them to come down and become fertile ground that we can reap a harvest from. So I like that part of it. So there are so many different things that are associated from one to the other that we don't have to run from Feng Shui because it's not, oh no, we don't do that in church. We don't do that. We don't have nothing to do with that. Well, you know what? I feel that if you're really, really secure in what you do and who you believe in, you're okay. You don't have to go anywhere. Okay. I
Mhm.
love the idea of utilizing the energy forces and really understanding them along with everything else I do. And that's what living is about, changing our routine, changing our habits so that they work better for us. Okay. So that I've got a talk coming up, surviving to thriving. And surviving to me is just is you made it through something. You made it through something, but you still haven't done anything yet. Okay. But to thrive means that you made it through, you got up, and you decided that you're going to keep going. And sometimes that extra energy is what we need in order to make that happen in our lives. It's not all the time what people do for us or how they talk to us, that gets us up on our feet and get us moving. It's what is already on the inside of us. How do we energize ourselves? Okay, like was that energy bunny, energizing bunny?
Yeah, the energy bunny.
So that so we can get up and we can do some things. So it's just another way, like getting into the bathtub and having candles all around lit, and having maybe some soft music. Well, if you're not energizing yourself, what are you doing? You're relaxing the energy that has you up and running and into things all day long. And then the same token, even when we go to bed, when you put what is those little bottles of scent oils and stuff, when
Essential
we put
oil.
that in the air, we're reaching for things that will relax us, put us to sleep, so those are different types of energy as well that we're looking for. So do me a favor and share with people just one thing that they could possibly do to let's say that somebody is really, really stirred up, stressed out of whack, whatever you want to call it. What is one thing? I know I could tell them one thing to do, but what is one thing that you would say that somebody could do?
Sometimes when people are stressed out, it's because they don't see a way out, right? One of the things that they can do is reach at the intelligent sector of the house, for example, for ideas. And in a general way, the east could be it for the year. So sitting in that spot, creating, becoming creative, or writing things that are troubling or causing you anxiety is one of the ways to use the space. So because the space, you would hear Dr. Bruce Lipton or Dr. Joe Dispenza talking about that the field is what is the authority of the particle of us. That's actually an Einstein quote. And it's the field is responsible for creating everything that we are, including our attitudes, our fights, our illness. Because after a while, you spend at least 8 hours a day, let's say, sleeping in one bedroom. If that bedroom has negative energy, you're going to get certain hiccups along the way. Same thing with your office. If you're going to spend like 6 hours in your office, that is going to produce something. When I know that negative energy is coming into my office, for example, I want to avoid it. I may, move my computer in a different room just to be safe in that time frame. Because in that time frame, I don't want to have a loss of time due to arguments, due to discrepancies, due to loss of technical difficulties. So that's how I use energy. And a lot of times, I use it in my family, clients also. I have some great testimonials in my site. But one of the examples, is one of our children. I moved this child from a negative area. 1 year, I knew that the negative space was going to hit his bedroom. So right before that hit, I moved him over. We painted a room, did everything I could to make it nice because this child did not want it to move. But we moved this child anyways. We did everything. And a year went by, things were getting better. I could see that, other friends his age were going through some troubles where our child was still okay. And fast forward another year or two when the energy really built up, he's having wonderful opportunities that he would take like kids that had maybe 4 years experience at least to do. So how do you explain that?
I agree with you.
They're just coming out. Yeah.
Yeah, I do agree with you because I know that there are certain parts of the house that you feel safer in than other parts of the house, that you get more accomplished. And I remember maybe it was a year ago that I wanted to move my son, which was my office at one time, but had become his bedroom. And I wanted to switch it out and put him in another bedroom. And he was really, oh man, I had to do it while he was away with his other brother. So while he was gone, I switched it, and as a result, he wasn't happy at first, but as a result of that, he got a promotion on the job. Okay. Things began to change as far as his bosses. He was having a problem with his bosses. Things began to change as far as that's concerned. And where I was in the office and I basically wasn't getting anything done at all, when I came down and I turned away from the east. So I turned towards the west. I said, I'm not going in the east anymore, I'm going in the west. And I just started rearranging my office and started getting it uncluttered. And when I started doing that, it was like sometimes it would be 11 o'clock at night. And my husband like, are you ever coming to bed? And I'm like, and I've been in the office all day and I'm productive. I'm getting things done. So I do understand that. Stacy, you got anything you wanna say?
Well, my goodness, I just love this conversation. There's so much depth and to this. I love Veronica's gracious, grounded manner. That's one of the things I just made a note about, and the way that you're talking about essentially living in balance, and when you're in balance and when you're not in balance. And what are the things that get you going? Dorothy was just talking about that, right? How do you get that energy up and going? And what stops you? And Veronica, you've described a system that is ancient, that is documented, and that may be new for some folks, but as Dorothy was saying, is in concert. You have to look at it and ultimately, what are you giving power to, right? So Veronica, you're talking about some basic rules of energy, of placement, of things, and how interesting. Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. Yes.
Yeah. Veronica is my most favorite cheerleader, regardless of what I'm doing. Veronica shows up, and I appreciate that so much. But I want to share a story. So this is a memory as well as we jump into porch talk, and we'll come back and let Veronica sum up her story. And I remember we were there. We had a conference to go to, and I think I had put on Facebook about meeting someone that was going in the same direction I was headed in. So I was sitting in the airport, and of course I had said some things online in Zoom and some classes. I'm not doing no Facebook. I'm not getting on no Facebook. Y'all crazy, all of that good stuff. But Veronica shows up at the airport, okay? And we just clicked. Now, outside of being on an airplane, we haven't had a chance to connect, but as soon as COVID allows it, she's not that far from me. She's like in Naperville and I'm in Chicago, so we'll connect. But because of that, okay, I think that sometimes we have to make a decision that I'm going to reach out and I'm going to make some new connections. I think that's a lot of, I call them power connections. And why I call them power connections is because we have the same mindset, but we're headed in different directions, So I can always reach back and say, hey, Veronica, I'm having a bad day. What's really going on here, And Veronica can look on wherever she looks at and say, hey, you know what, Dorothy, you just need to just calm down, get somewhere, sit down, get you a cup of coffee, girl, just cool out for the day, or if I'm having a hard time on the job, I got a power connection when it comes to Stacy. I can reach back into Stacy and say, Stacy, this is just not working. And because Stacy has got your back solution, Stacy can tell me for sure, hey, Dorothy, look, this is what you need to do, and this is what you don't need to do. Now, you make the decision, okay? And I like that about her. She never forces anything on. What do you think, okay? And then if I need to pay a few bills and cut back on how much I already pay, hey, look, I can reach out to Camille. And Camille can show me how to save money when it comes to paying all the utility bills within the house, how I can get discounts and all of that good stuff. So we're headed in different directions, but we all have the same mindset. And that mindset is that we want to be successful in all that we do, but we want to have great connections along the way. This ain't no lone ranger, not lone, not without tunnel. Okay, so everything that we do, we have to figure out how do we connect, and if it's connecting to energy, then connect to energy. If it's connected to the Bible, then connect to the Bible. If it's connecting to positive people with a mindset that says that, hey, you can do this, not they can do this, you can do this, then connect with them as well. So I'm going to give Camille a chance to ask you a question. A happy question, Camille. A happy question before talk.
It was such a pleasure listening to you, my dear.
I don't want to be handing Veronica tissues and she's trying to hand me tissues too. Okay, so happy connection.
I can feel Miss Veronica's energy, and I love it because you're relating to a lot of things that I know about. Because my grandmother, she loves the energy. She takes energy from the world. Okay. Now, as a child growing up, what kind of energy did you get from your grandmother or your grandfather? What kind of energy that you absorbed from them while you were sitting on the porch?
That's a very good question. Well, I was very close to my maternal grandparents because they lived like 2 blocks away from us. They're Japanese and they immigrated to South America. So I learned a lot of, my grandfather liked cultivating fruits. He liked his garden. So I learned a lot from him on that. And then I learned a lot from my grandmother who had the traditional Japanese cooking and everything else like that. I learned that a lot from her. So they're very, and then later on, my grandfather taught me how to drive. It wasn't my parents, it was my grandfather actually, because I was helping him on weekends. So that's how I learned how to drive. So my grandparents were foundational in my life. And I could see that in my chart. We have a certain affinity, just like Dorothy and Stacy have an affinity, a very total affinity, and I haven't seen your chart yet, Camille. So I can't say much about that, but yes, but there's a reason why we're with certain people in our lives. Yeah.
And I was told that by my grandmother. God put people in your life for a season and a reason. You might not know what the reason is, and you might not understand when the season comes, but he will do that. And then you'll also remove them when their time is up. So you come in here today and just letting us understand that we have that energy and we could reach out and at the same time connect, no matter what culture you are. We all have that energy. Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your question. And with Chinese astrology, you know the season, you know when they're coming. And you know what the season is for meeting, you know what the season is for going, which is called the clash. And you know who are your peeps, basically. Yeah.
Ooh, I gotta learn that. Thank you.
I always tell people, though, even though people do come into our lives, and it's true, they come for a reason and they come for a season, but some people come for a lifetime. So the thing of it is those that come, that don't stay. We have to learn how to release and let them go. And the reason we have to do that, that is so that we're able to allow someone else to come into our lives that need to be there. Okay. So one of the things that I released that connected me with Veronica is when Veronica said, let's do a thing on Facebook while we're sitting in the airport. And we did a Facebook. Now, I had already said I'm not going to go on Facebook, but I released that fright. You know, now I was used to being in front of people, but just being visual online, I was not used to. So I kind of staggered back from that. Okay. So sometimes it's good to let things go, it's good to let people go, simply because if you don't, you'll never know what it is that you miss that you should have had. Okay, so we have to let them go. One of the things I do want to do is I've got Veronica's bio here. I'm going to read Veronica's bio, and then I'm going to let Veronica tie it up for us and tell you how to get in touch with her. Okay, so I don't know why I'm seeing so good today with my class. Veronica Montinola, Master Feng Shui and Chinese astrologist consultant. Veronica is a contributing author in the book Real Estate Simplified and Unlocking Lasting and Total Success. Veronica is one of few master consultants in the Chicagoland area and authority in upgrading the energies in your environment. She has trained with master teachers in Southeast Asia to bring many ancient and life-changing moderate together.
Modalities,
Veronica,
maybe.
yes, that's okay. We could all stand a little laugh.
Yeah.
Veronica is certified as a professional Feng Shui consultant trainer, a master consultant online program, Red Lotus Master Consultant, QI Man Academy, Beza Mastery and Beza 10X, QI Mean Mastery, Feng Shui and Strategy Executive, QI Man Forecasting Destiny and Life Transformational. If I didn't know any better, I'd think you were doing Kung Fu, girl. She is trained as a social entrepreneur empowerment network. She is also trained with Visionary Business School and Visionary Business Academy. Veronica shares a mixture of East and West knowledge with clients, giving pearls of wisdom that help them find meaning and success along their path. I'll let Veronica tell you how to get in touch with her and how and allow her to wrap everything up.
So thank you so much for having me, Dorothy, Stacy. Thank you, Camille, for your question. So you could join me. I offer complimentary consultations. That's on my website. So the company is Life Simple Pleasures, because I want you to take advantage of every moment in life. So it's www.lspfengshui.com. And if you do forward contact, you could send me an email or you could book a complimentary session with me. What else? So I also have a Facebook group. It's lsp.feng shui for Facebook. It's a group where I publish weekly newsletters, and I have some tidbits pretty much almost every day in weekly energy assessments, like what's going on this week. Is there an avoid day this week, or is there a wealth day this week, or success day this week? So something general, not personalized, but a nice guide to schedule your activities. I also offer programs, classes, lessons, and the next thing that's coming up is a declutter event. It's going to be a declutter challenge. So spring, is when you declutter, but declutter there's a science behind decluttering. It's not just taking everything out. There's certain areas that you want to leave untouched, and that is where the feng shui comes from. Where most people tell you to just declutter everything, but with feng shui, there's areas when you don't want to touch. So that is what I will go through. And if somebody has any questions, that would be time to, also get your questions answered in regards to decluttering your space or reorganizing your space to suit you. So that's what's coming up next. And in conclusion, what feng shui and Chinese astrology and any of these Chinese arts can help you is to live from the heart up, basically, because we've been used to living from the first chakra, second chakra, third chakra, maybe power struggles, lack of security. Whereas if you live in balance, you could create from here rather than from insecurity. Yeah. So this is really at the bottom of the teachings of ancient teachings. So thank you for having me here to explain that, and hopefully you can get the benefit too. Thank you so much.
Last question. The Facebook group, is it private or is it public?
So the Facebook group, the LSP.Feng Shui, is public, but the membership group is private.
Okay. All right. So because, we'll put all of that beneath the interview so that anybody wants to check it out, it is available to you. So it's been great having you here on the platform, Veronica, and sharing how we can utilize energies to turn our situations around and turn us around as well. I love it. So here's one thing I want to share with you. Don't forget about the Porch Talk Friends and Family Reunion. Now that is May the 28th and July the 30th, the last Friday of each month. And the tickets for both events is $37. So if you can't be there, buy a ticket and gift it to someone, okay? Someone that you know that needs to have a fun afternoon, or someone that says that they don't have anything to do and they need to just get out. Let them come and have an afternoon with us, okay? We are sure to give them a fun afternoon. Porch Talk Friends and Family Reunion is the fun playground for busy people and busy entrepreneurs. It's been great. We'll see you again on Thursday of next week and on Friday at the same time. It's been great. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.
And then all I got.
I love it. No, I definitely.